Hi guys, it's Janice and it's day 7 of my video challenge, and I wanted to talk more today about not hiding your feelings and more about not hiding your feelings from yourself in fear of others rejecting you. I talked before about how that can kind of, when you are afraid of others kind of judging you for your feelings, and how your relationships may, either strengthen or weaken depending on the kind of relationships that you have, and if you're willing to take risks in them and kind of open up about your feelings. But I also want to talk about how we really judge ourselves, and how when we're in a space of real negativity, of real stress, of real shame, or just in the kind of space where we don't know how we're going to get out of it. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she said, I want to know how people who are in that space, I want to know what it's like. I want to know what it's like for people when they're in that space. I hear all the time about what, how they are when they get out of it. But I want to know what it's like when they're in this space, when they're in that really kind of bad head place or bad feeling state, when they just feel like nothing is going to work and they're just feeling at that really low point. And, I have been there. I think we all have been there. And what I want to say is that, I want to let you know and let everybody know that it's the most human feeling in the world to feel a sense of desperation at times. And if you are ever around somebody that says or makes you feel bad for that feeling, please don't be around that person, because they are not accepting their own truth. It is such an isolating feeling and a lonely feeling when you are there, and all the kind of negative kind of messages that maybe you kind of heard when you were a kid, or feelings of just, like worthlessness, feelings of shame, feelings of not being good enough. All of that stuff comes up when you are in that kind of headspace. And the last thing you need is to feel like somebody thinks that you are not good enough either to be around or to hang out with. So I want you to know that that is not true. A way to get out of that space is to, number one, listen to somebody else. Be there for somebody else. That is kind of one way that you can feel like you are not alone, and that you are in a community of people who relate to you, who understand you. And do not be guarded with yourself when you're in conversation with people. Be open. If somebody asks you how you're doing, depending on who it is, of course, let them know, hey, I'm having a rough time, and if you have a few minutes, I'd really like to talk to you about it. Let your friends know what you're going through. Write about it. If you have a journal, start writing in your journal. Call up a friend and, kind of meditate on it a little bit. I talked yesterday, I wrote about this Stop, Breathe, and Think app that is awesome. And it is an app where it's for people who have difficulty meditating, and it kind of gets you in touch with your emotions, and it gives you suggestions for meditations, whether it's a walk, kind of a meditative walk, a journal writing exercise, or a really brief kind of gratitude meditation. And it guides you through it. But it first looks at how you're feeling, and it asks you all these questions about how you're feeling, so you get in touch with your emotions first before you start meditating. So really getting in touch with your body and getting in touch with your feelings is the most important thing you can do when you're in a really negative feeling space. I wrote an article a while back for Tiny Buddha, and it was about how I, don't want to be fake around people, and I want people to know the real me. And part of the real me is accepting that I am not happy all the time. I can be sad. I can, really feel a lot of pain, and that's part of my beauty, and that's part of me. And to know me is to know all of that. And I think we can't be afraid of that. And I don't want to be around people in my life who either A, are scared of that, or B, are, kind of don't accept my darkness, because my darkness is part of what gets me to my lightness, and it is all of me, and it's part of what gets me to my depth as well. So I encourage you to do the same, and to go through this whole self-acceptance kind of journey along with me. Okay, thanks. Happy Wednesday, everybody.